Hi, I'm LaShawn Jenkins with the Notary Institution. I teach people how they can start their own notary signing agent business. I teach people who already have a notary commission how that they can earn money doing it and make a living off of it. So, not to talk too much about that, today we're actually going to talk about the three common mistakes that a lot of notary signing agents make, rather if they're new or old. Sometimes with people that have been in for a long time, a lot of them they haven't received any type of training on exactly what to do. Sometimes they just started it and they just doing it, but sometimes that people are making a lot of common mistakes. So the first mistake that I'm gonna go over is not marketing. A lot of notary signing agents do not market their services to anyone. A lot of people, what they tend to do is they go to the Secretary of State, they apply for their notary commission, and after they apply for their notary commission, normally, like with the state, you're listed on their website, but they don't do anything else. They just automatically assume that if someone needs a notary, that person will take a look on their secretary website to find them, and that's not the case. There's a lot of different things that you actually have to do to actually put your name out there to be found locally by people in order to earn money. Or a lot of people, some people actually get stuck into they get their notary commission, and the first thing they go do is they tell their family and their friends. But the thing about telling your family and friends is they're not going to pay for your services because they're not going to see you as a business. They're going to see you as, oh, we have a notary in the family now, so they're going to want you to notarize their documents, for free. And there's nothing wrong with looking out, for your family. But if you want to make an earning off of it, those are not the people to earn the money from. And especially some people who are heavily involved in the church, a lot of times people will use them. People will offer their services to the church, but the church people, they're not looking to pay for your services. They're just looking for someone, quick and fast as a notary. So they don't understand the value of your service. So that's a huge mistake that a lot of notary signing agents actually make when they first receive their notary commission. The next thing is a lot of notary signing agents make. I have a list here because sometimes I tend to forget. Not forget, but I want to make sure I cover everything that I want to talk about. The next thing is a lot of times, the next mistake is a lot of times especially when they get into loan signings or even just general notary work, a lot of notaries fail to read and they also fail to follow the instructions. Sometimes they'll do things just according to the way that they may have been doing it, or whatever the case may be. They tend to just do their own thing, but it is very important to read the instructions. And the only reason I say that is because, especially with the signing, with the loan documents, sometimes certain lenders may require a form to be filled out a certain way. They may require a certain color pen unless your state law prohibits you from using different color pens. And the only way you will know that is you have to read the signing agent instructions. On top of reading the signing agent instructions, you also have to make sure you read whatever form that you're filling out. That the borrower is filling out. You have to make sure that that form is being filled out correctly and people are signing in the correct places where they should sign. Sometimes another thing is some people, what they'll do is they won't study their state law. So they will try to run their business. Normally, this is how in majority when I see it happens. They go get their notary commission, they have it, and then they go to Facebook and they look for the notary groups and they join all the notary groups. Every single one. Every single notary group that is on Facebook, they join. And then they post a question asking something. And it's great to, meet and network and get knowledge from people, experienced notaries who been in the business, but you also have to keep in mind that each state has different laws. So what that notary does in that state, you may not necessarily can do in your state. And sometimes they give advice thinking that they can do that, but they can't because they didn't check their state laws. So that's a huge mistake that a lot of notaries make. They don't pay attention to what applies for them. That's why I tell all my students, if you're going to join a notary group, make sure you join the notary group that is dedicated to your state, because even though there could be wrong information in there, all of y'all are actually, majority of the group will be on the same page as music as far as the laws. Most of the people in the group will exchange information in there, and even if it's wrong information, I'm pretty sure whoever the creator of the group is, they're the person that studied the laws and they will correct it. So that's why it is very, very important to make sure you pay attention and do not just take bad advice without researching it yourself first. The last mistake is a lot of notaries fail to communicate at all. So with the communication part, as in, say if they're running late to a notary appointment, they may not actually even call anybody. They won't call the borrower. They don't call the signing company. If they don't understand the document, a lot of times what people do is they don't call the signing company before they head out there. A lot of people, what they do is they get on Facebook and they post the document and ask people what it means. And a lot of times it's great, but sometimes some people really don't know what something means, and you might actually get wrong information. But if you're ever struggling with documents, you're more than welcome to reach out to the signing company that gave you the assignment to ask them a question about the documents. If you want to know how the borrower should fill it out and where they sign it, you can always call the signing company with those questions. Also, a lot of times people won't communicate with the signing company. They'll finish the signing. They might choose exactly when they feel like dropping a package off. They may not even inform the signing company that the signing was complete. So whenever you are finished the signing, it is very important that you communicate, with the signing company that is closed. And some of the signing companies are getting to the point where, because notaries are not actually, just communicating with them, that they're taking off money, for the fee. So already the fees are actually kind of low, just working with the signing company. Sometimes, depending on what company it is and how experienced you are, like your fee might actually be low anyway. So if you're doing signing for $100, but you fail to communicate something or close the signing appointment, sometimes they'll take off $15 just for not doing that. So you have to be very aware of communicating things, between the signing company and also the borrower. Sometimes the documents may not even arrive on time for you to print them, and also arrive on time to the borrower. And sometimes what some signing agents do, they won't call the borrower, they won't call the title company to see where the documents are at, because sometimes the way how it's ran, a title company has many assignments. So just think about, if a title company is located in California, they're handling a lot of the traffic that's just in California. And that's not including, then also you have to think about, sometimes title companies handling people who may actually be out of state, but it's a California property, or the person is, they went through that title company in California to sell their house. So sometimes title company is not always there, sitting there babysitting every single file to see if the documents came. So a lot of times if the documents do not come in time, and that you have a signing, coming up, and you want to be on time, it doesn't hurt to reach out, to whoever gave you the assignment. It all depends on how you're working. If you're working with a title company or the signing company, to call them and let them know, like, hey, what's the status of the documents and everything like that, so that you can at least, even if you have to, you can call the borrower and let them know, hey, I'm waiting on the documents. I will be there as soon as they hear. So that way, it's not the last minute and you're trying to rush and stress yourself and trying to figure out exactly, what you're going to do. As long as you're communicating, normally, as long as you communicate with the signing company, the title company, or the lender, or whoever like gave you the assignment, you'll actually normally they will give you the documents. Now sometimes there's issues where the documents come slow, but most of the time, as long as you communicate that issue, you're making someone aware to, at least to be working on it so that you can have documents. So that's all I have for today. I'm actually working on coming up with more topics for videos. So if you have any video ideas or any type of topics that you would like for me to produce on my channel, just let me know. Make sure you subscribe down below, and also you can hit the notifications button so that you can be notified of all the new videos that I upload on this channel. I would like to thank you for tuning in, and you have a great day.